Again, I'm not knocking what your mother or grandmother did. All right. I don't want to get too frustrated when I say this. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're doing a very much requested recipe, and it is your basic tomato sauce. I take pride in the fact that my tomato sauce is going to come out just as good, if not better, as any of those other sauces that you have that are cooked for 8-9 hours. All that stuff is mumbo jumbo. I'm gonna dispel it right now. I'm not knocking your mother's sauce or your grandmother's sauce or anything like that, but you really don't need to go that far to get a really good tasting tomato sauce. If you're new to me or the channel, I make delicious recipes just like the one you're about to watch. I do dining reviews and other cultural reactions. So if you want more of that, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified when the new videos go up. You don't want to miss any posts because I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm actually using this tomato sauce in an upcoming episode, so you're not going to want to miss that. So today I'm showing you how to make a really good tomato sauce in under like 20-30 minutes. So it's one of those things where if you're working and you come home, you need a couple of ingredients. There's not even a lot of ingredients. You need a can of tomatoes. I like to buy the crushed tomatoes, but you can buy like whole San Marzano tomatoes and crush them yourself. Do whatever you got to do. And an onion. My store, for some reason, didn't have one Spanish onion to buy. I like getting like a small onion. So I got a shallot. I'm going to try it. I've never actually done my tomato sauce with shallot, but I think it's going to bring like a nice sweetness to the whole party. And then you need like 2 good-sized garlic cloves. I'm using 3 kind of smaller ones, and that's basically it. So those are your 3 ingredients, and then you adjust the seasoning with salt. So let's jump right into prepping this. While I have my pot preheating, I'm just using just a standard sauce pot, just like that. I have that preheating over kind of medium heat. Just turned the wrong burner on. There we go. Kind of medium high heat because I like to chop pretty fast. Grab your knife, break down your onion. You want like a medium dice. Shallots have the same construction as your normal onion, Spanish onion. I don't like using sweet Vidalia onions for this because I feel like that's a little bit too much of a sweet flavor, and they also don't break down quite as easy as a shallot or an onion. So you want like a little dice like that. Still to this day, I've been cooking for 25 years. Still, onions make me cry, so it'll happen to you too. I like to cut the little ends off the garlic. Nobody wants that. Problem with these little guys is they're harder to peel. You ever notice that? That shallot really got me. Alright, nothing fancy here either. You don't want giant hunks of garlic, but at the same time, you don't want it minced too fine because it'll put too much flavor. It'll overpower. And you see, I didn't do that with any kind of precision cuts or anything like that. We ain't got time for that today. Now this is important. When you look at your tomatoes, they're gonna have kind of a purpley hue. You're gonna wanna cook this until the purple goes to orange. That's how you know it's cooked. That's my little trick for this. Our pan is preheated. Go in with olive oil, about, I would say, a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half. Go in with your aromatics. The wooden spoon is non-negotiable. It's not because it adds any flavor or any kind of mumbo jumbo like that. I just said mumbo jumbo a few times already. It's because this doesn't make the noise that like a stainless steel spoon would. So it's basically to keep you sane. Now here we're going for just to soften the onions and garlic. We just want to start to infuse the flavor a little bit. I like to add a small pinch of salt at this point, not a lot. We're going to adjust the salt at the very end. If you start to see color, you've taken it too far. I know that's a pretty bad cue to help you cook here, but it's kind of one of those things that the more you cook, the better you'll get at doing this. When it starts to break down, I would say 4 to 5 minutes at this point. Any more than that, and it's gonna be too bitter. And then we'll go right in with our tomatoes. I like to get a little bit of water in the bottom of the can. Bring it back up to a boil. You notice it's very purple. I just alluded to it. You don't have to cook sauce all day because once the tomatoes go from that purple to orange, that means they're cooked. So anything longer than that, you're just going to over reduce the sauce, and you could even burn the sauce. So I would say that if you're not putting meat in the sauce, this is all you need to do. Trust me. Just trust me on this. I'm trying to bring it back up to a boil quickly, and then we're going to knock it down to a simmer. And you can see we got a nice richness and thickness to this sauce already. That's basically exactly what you want. You want this to go from purple to orange. Just remember, purple to orange. Manja manja. If you're with me so far, hit this video with a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Let me know how you make your sauce. If I'm insulting you, let me know. I'm not trying to insult anybody. I think at the end of the day, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. I'm just here to tell you, this is all you need to make a respectable, amazing sauce. All right, our sauce is just starting to bubble away. The thing is, since there's not a lot of liquid in here, if you leave it cranked on a high temperature, it's just, you're gonna get these large bubbles that are gonna like bubble like a volcano. So I would say don't keep it there for a very long time. Just until it gets up to temperature. The tomatoes were cold, so once they're nice and hot, you can see the steam kind of coming off here. Once they're nice and hot, which they are now, I'm gonna knock it down to like a medium low, okay? And then I'm just gonna mix this every couple of minutes. Our sauce has been going for about 10 minutes here. You can see it's kind of bubbling nicely. I like to leave the spoon kind of resting on the pot a little bit. Scrape down the sides, make sure you're doing that. This still has a ways to go. I would say maybe another like 8 to 10 minutes, but you could see that the color is definitely starting to change, and it looks like we're coming up with a really good sauce. Notice, I didn't salt it yet. I like to do that at the end because it reduces. So we want to make sure that the salt level is right, balanced, and perfect for the sauce. I need to talk about an elephant in the room as far as its tomato sauce. I haven't added any seasonings yet. Whenever I show this recipe, I even taught it at a cooking class, actually a handful of cooking classes, I showed them this recipe. People always ask, what, you don't add herbs? No, I add herbs, but at the very end. So like I'll rip some basil in if I have basil. I'll throw some oregano in if I'm using it for more like a pizza. Oregano is one of those spices that you got to be really careful. Herbs, spices, whatever. Notice, I didn't add any sugar. Again, I'm not knocking what your mother or grandmother did. I don't think tomatoes need sugar. I think the issue with... All right, I don't want to get too frustrated when I say this. I think part of the issue why people feel like they need sugar is that they're using tomatoes that are substandard, or they're not seasoning correctly with the salt. I think if you balance the salt correctly in your sauce, it's actually going to be sweet enough. So you could add sugar if you want. I saw something on the Food Network a few years ago. I think it might have been Ina Garten. I don't remember who it was. They added honey. I still can't get over that. If you want to do that, that's fine. It's to your taste. I don't think it needs it. If you use these, I like the Cento because they're kind of middle of the road. They're good. They're not like the greatest tomatoes in the world, but they do the trick, and they never taste too bitter. If you get a sauce that's too bitter, then add a little bit of sugar. It basically is to your taste. So I ain't gonna judge. Just like you're not gonna judge me, maybe you are. I'm not gonna judge you. So do what you gotta do. All right, I'm calling it quits on this tomato sauce. You notice it got really, really orange, bright orange. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna actually taste it. So I need a spoon. Yeah, let's use the baby spoon. Always taste your sauce. How do kids eat off of these spoons? Definitely lacking in the salt department, but not by a lot, honestly. Remember Donnie Brasco? Hit it with a punch of salt. Punch of salt. I would say this is probably about maybe 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt that I'm adding for that whole thing, and that's plenty. Mixed up nicey nice. And then let's go back in. Perfect. This tastes like, and don't flame me in the comments, this tastes like a ragu sauce. Those sauces that you buy in the supermarket, those are engineered to be amazing. Okay, so I don't want to hear that it's disgusting and this and that. It's a good shortcut, but this is totally respectable. Those ingredients were like, I think the can of tomatoes was $1.75. The shallot was like 60 or 70 cents. A couple of cloves of garlic, a tablespoon of olive oil. You just made tomato sauce for $2. You can't even get a jar that cheap. So we're ready to go on that. Here's a little preview at something I'm gonna actually use this sauce for. Check it out. I got some eggplant that I'm about to bread. I'm making eggplant parm. And it might be the tallest eggplant parm you've ever seen. Thank you so much for watching this recipe on basic tomato sauce. I really hope you got a lot out of this. I really hope that you try this. I really hope that it replaces your longer cooked tomato sauce. It'll just make your life easier in the long run. If you like this video, hit a thumbs up down below. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell to get notified when new videos are posted. I try to post a recipe video every week or two. So, you know, the more ideas I get, so leave comments for ideas, the quicker I'll get these things going as well. Check out some of these episodes on the screen right now. I have a library already with recipes that you probably haven't seen yet. So check those out. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.